Are you ready for this big project of demoing the house? Having it all tore up for a couple months.
No, out. Can I move out? What are you doing?
Getting demo fuel. I gotta feed the beast.
Oh my gosh. I think you're a little too excited about this.
Think so?
Yes. Yeah.
Whoa, whoa. Time out. Safety first.
See what I'm saying? He's a little too excited about this. Almost didn't have safety gear, but he's got it covered.
I got it just for her favorite goggles.
What do I need these for? I'm not the one tearing it up right at this moment in time.
You're on the debris flying side. Okay, we're about to do some exploratory demo. The real demo comes tomorrow when we rent the tool. Right now we're just trying to see how hard, how difficult it's going to be. They put that down really well.
No wonder why it's popping up.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be coated. Hey, what happened to exploratory?
Too bad.
I'm still exploring.
Sometimes we gotta learn the hard way what not to do. Do not wear short sleeves when you're taking up tile because tile is dangerous. Day one exploratory demo turned into, so we've just got done cleaning up. We're calling it a night after ripping up all this tile, cleaning up, Kenny cutting his arm open. We figure it's probably a good time to stop. So we'll see you in the morning.
So we started right here yesterday. One of the reasons that we were ripping it out is because it was a very poor insulation job initially. We had a lot of tiles that sounded hollow underneath, and then the mortar was cracking up because of the poor insulation. So one of the reasons that you can see is right here. They used about maybe a 1/4 by 1/8 inch trowel, and you can see it didn't stick. Either when they were mixing the mortar, they could have used it too dry, or they could have used the wrong type. You can see right here how easily it came off doing it by hand. Now as we go over here into the kitchen, they used more mortar and they used a different trowel. We're going to be using a 1/2 by 1/2. You want a good mortar bed underneath it so it can withstand the weight and also gives you a little bit of movement for play. So as we got in here, the tiles stuck a lot more. So we had to rent, obviously the big dog here is going to be doing most of all the work. So that should speed up the process and make life a lot easier.
What did you say, that you were the machine yesterday?
Yeah.
How are we feeling about that today?
Yeah, my back is a little sore today. So.
Good morning. It's day 3 of our gigantic dust cloud. Ken is in the process of pulling up all of the Thinset with that awesome machine that also got the tile out. So everywhere in our house that had tile is now torn up and we're living with the mess. Huh, Grace? It's a mess.
Yes.
It's a huge dust cloud. Look at my countertop here. Literally everything is coated in dust. Be prepared for this because if you use that machine to, look at the avocados. If you use that machine to do this, it's going to spit Thinset everywhere. My husband came up with this awesome idea to tape some plastic in one of the doorways to try to keep the dust down. If you can do that, so worth it. So it's day 5 of this project. Yesterday we did not do a thing. Didn't do a thing. We took like a 2-hour nap and went to church and just had a day of rest that we so needed yesterday. So today we're back at it. We're going to be pulling off the baseboards and getting some of the finer detail work taken care of today. We got a full day ahead of us. Better get to it. You want to give your tile 72 hours to acclimate to the temperature inside your home before you start to put it down so that it doesn't crack. So keep that in mind when in your planning time. Cutting the caulking on the top of the baseboard will help it pull out from the baseboard fairly easily and not take all your drywall or paint off. This is my husband just using the grinder to take off the remainder of that Thinset. Floor prep is key in this project. You don't want any little pieces getting stuck in the mortar, so using a vacuum to clean up as much as you can and a mop afterwards will help your Thinset adhere to your floor properly.
After prepping the floor, your next step is to do a layout. So with that, rather than starting flush on the wall and then going all the way across and finding that you only have an inch left, you don't want that. So for a professional finish, what you want to do is you want to make sure that you have at least half of a tile on either side. So what you do is you measure off the wall, you figure out your center, you adjust from there, and you adjust your line off the wall. You want to make sure it's nice and square. You can see off our lines that we already have some marks identified, and what we're going to be doing is we're going to be going a little bit over a half of a tile on both sides. So next thing we'll be snapping the chalk lines.
A great hack to keep that chalk line from moving after you snap it is to just take some basic hairspray and spray it to keep it intact.
This is a Thinset that we picked up from Lowe's. We specifically picked this brand because it is designed for porcelain tile. So let's mix it up and get going. As you get going, you'll figure out what consistency works best. When I first started, we're using 2 cups. And then we gradually went up. Now I'm doing about 5 at a time. Usually I just go all the way just about to the top. And that way you want to make sure you're consistent all the way through.
This is probably a 2-cup cup. So I'd say about 2 cups for everyone. And you're using 5 of these?
Yes.
So about 10 cups.
Ounces maybe?
So about 10 cups of water.
I'm going maybe about a third to a half of a bag.
So these buckets from Home Depot are legit. Like, you want lots of these buckets. You will need lots of buckets. We started this project with probably about 40 of them. We might have a good 10, 15 left over.
I just use a paddle bit. It's designed for masonry and also for paint. I mix in quite a bit of Thinset, and then I make sure I add more. Basically, you're looking for consistency of like a thick pancake batter. So right here, it's too wet.
And this is what you're looking for. It's like buttercream icing consistency. Nice and thick. Otherwise, you'll lay it down and it'll run everywhere and it won't stay where you want it to stay. So you want it on the thicker side.
Don't be surprised if you go through a couple pairs of knee pads and a pair of boots.
He's got like the big brother to the sad sisters over here. When you lay your mortar down, you want to make sure that you're laying it in an even layer and that you're pulling it all in the same direction for the best adhesion.
For best adhesion, you want to make sure that you back butter each and every tile. A lot of people skip this step, but this is key to making sure you don't have hollow tiles underneath. Make sure you back butter the whole thing. Use a right size trowel. When you lift it up, you want at least 95% coverage on the tile. Okay, now that we back buttered it, we're gonna lay it down. We're gonna use a system that from Spin Doctor. We picked it up at Lowe's. You could also find it on Amazon. We find that it works really good, but it helps prevent lippage in the tile, especially on these large plank tiles. It makes sure that it's nice and flush all the way around. When I put it on, look and make sure that it's level, which it is, it's perfect. And I didn't even have to touch it. So now I'm going to move on to the spacers. What I'm doing is I'm putting them on a third. I'm putting them on all my lines to reduce the amount of spacers that I have to use. So every third of a tile, I'm putting it down. And then on the end, I usually just like to put one extra one. These are only about 10 cents each, so using a couple extra here or there isn't really going to break your budget. Then once it's set, go back and I hold the tile so it doesn't move. I just tighten them down. There's no tools required, so I like this system. It's nice and fast, even kids can do it. So the old school system of using the plus rubber spacers, they move around and it doesn't take out the lippage. So it's very easy to get off square, which you don't want to do in a tile job. You want to stay nice, level, square the entire time. So this really is great for consistency.
And this is just where the mortar, after it's been tightened down, is starting to seep through the lines a little bit. So we want to eliminate as much as we can so that the grout sits properly. To remove these spacers, my husband just uses his feet and kicks these off the same direction that they are placed. So you can see here, he's just going with the lines of the actual tile, kicking them off. You can use a hammer as well for this step. All right, so as I'm editing this video, I'm realizing that we didn't go through a lot of the process of the grout selection, and that's because it was such a pain in the butt. We bought like 4 different bags of grout trying to find the one that was the right color because I wanted one that was super, super dark, and we were having trouble with that. So just be aware that the colors that you see on the swatches at Home Depot or Lowe's or whatever are not always going to be the color that is produced afterwards. Our very first bag of grout I bought, it was like a really deep, like milk chocolate color. And when we laid it down and it dried, it turned out to be like a cream beige color. And we were like, oh my gosh. So we had to like go back to the drawing board and figure out what to do. So just be aware of that as you're looking to purchase grout. I would recommend buying a small bag first and mixing it up and doing a test board. We did several test boards. We just took like pieces of the tile that my husband had cut that we weren't using, and we just laid it down. It didn't have to be pretty, but it gave us an idea what the grout was gonna look like when we were finished. So I highly recommend doing that and just save yourself some time, money, and stress. When you go to lay your grout down, you wanna make sure that you lay it down at a 45-degree angle. That way it gets into all the little crevices of the tile and nothing is overlooked. So taking that at a 45-degree and sweeping off the excess is going to give you a nice finish. Your next step is going to be to take a wet sponge, apply moderate pressure to it, and use circular motions to work that grout into the lines of the tile. This is going to make sure that you don't have any clumps left and that you have a nice even surface to start removing the haze. My kids got really involved in doing this. Removing the haze is probably one of the hardest jobs of this entire project. You have to go back and forth. It took us 6 times of doing this to remove the haze completely because it's one swipe and you're done.
This project took literally 6 months to complete and so much work, but we saved a lot of money doing it ourselves. So if you can do that, I highly recommend it. I think that the results speak for themselves. It makes this space look super open and inviting and warm and just finished off. Hopefully you found this video helpful. If you did, give it a thumbs up. If you would like to see more, subscribe to my channel, and I will catch you guys in my next video.